What's up, everyone? We are back, and boy, has it been quite a week. This has been, usually things calm down, you know, Black Friday, Christmas. This year, because Elon and Trump, it is by far the most interesting period of my life. Not just this year, my life. How you doing, Alan?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and everything is going good. I mean, it's weird for us to say this to each other because we talk every day, but there is so much craziness going on right now that I don't even know where we should start. Like, which do you want to tackle first? And we can just let the ADHD fly.
Well, I mean, you know, let's go with the title, because that could be why people clicked in. So Elon, basically, when asked a question, I believe it was CNN, and they were like, hey, what happens if, what would you say to advertisers who are pulling off your platform because of your anti-Semitic, whatever you call anti-Semitic comments? And he goes, go F yourself. Just like that. Yeah. But in his very, and I say this because I believe he is a high-functioning, very high-functioning, smartest man in the world, autistic. And you can kind of tell Elon, like, he's not the most, like, he gets by, but like being around people is not his strength. Like he does it, but he's just like, he's a crazy smart dude. And he's like, go F yourself. And then the guy was shocked. Nobody laughed. And then he literally repeated it. And then in the middle of nowhere, like Tourette's, he screams out, GFY.
And then like,
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Apparently earlier they were talking to the CEO of Disney, and the CEO of Disney was like kind of chastising Musk, like, oh, it's horrible what he said. We're going to get to what he said that led to this whole shit.
Oh my God.
But like, here's my thought. It also goes to show how horrible the actual media is, because the media is so worried about ad revenue that they'll be like, oh, well, if the advertisers tell you not to say something or tell you not to do it, you know, don't do it. You know, like, that means the advertisers get to dictate what reality is, right?
Pfizer accounts for, I believe, 75% of all advertising revenue across all channels. So put that in perspective. So I don't know if I told the story with you before, but when I worked at Weeder Publications, I don't know if you ever heard of something called Deer Antler Velvet. It's absolutely supposed to raise IGF. It's complete bullshit. So I literally sold an ad to a company for Deer Antler Velvet, and Jim Wright he didn't care, right? And there was an article on Deer Antler Velvet, so they put the ad right across from the article, and the article literally said, do not buy Deer Antler Velvet, it's a scam. So I had to refund them their money. Now, Jim was right. He was doing his job, but because of Jim, we lost an ad. So that was on a micro scale. That is a $6,000 ad in Flex magazine. Can you imagine if Pfizer's throwing $200 million at a company, and so not only do they not say things that could be right because it could hurt that revenue, but at that point they can dictate what you do write about, and make it positive. For example, and I go back to our industry. Remember the Cell Tech ads?
Oh my gosh. Yes.
So Muscle Tech, and we never did it. Muscle Mag and Muscle Development did cave in and do it. They would want us to do editorial pieces and lie about what their products do. And every magazine but ours caved to it. Every magazine, Muscular Development, Muscle Mag, Iron Man, Muscular Development, they all caved. We did not. So just put in perspective, that's on a micro scale. Those are $1,000 ads. These are $1 million ad buys. So put it in perspective. You want to know why the media won't tell the truth about stuff, even though the truth is exactly what the CDC and WHO says, because they're always correct.
Every time.
So
10 mice.
And I think that's more than enough. I think 9 would have been plenty, to be honest.
Dude, I'm talking like 9 mice too many, maybe. Like 1 mouse. Like at that stage, 1 mouse, you're good to go. Like,
but I mean, it's designed with such scientific fervor that there's really no need to even research it, in my opinion. It's safe and effective.
Yeah. I mean, you have to do at least 1 mouse, though.
Because they've been studying mRNA for 472 years. So
is it that long?
No, it's 470. I think it turns 473 in February.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's almost there. But yeah, so why even study something that is proven science? It's
right, proven. Factual.
Yeah. Infallible. So anyway, yeah, so I agree with you, Alan. It's the media. You're absolutely correct. I wouldn't say they're crooked. I'd say they're capitalist.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're untethered capitalists, meaning they don't have a moral tether, because like it's all about the money, right? And I understand that, because big companies are big companies, and there's always that one statement like, well, if you won't do it, we'll hire somebody that will. I mean, I've said that shit to people. You know, like, I mean, I've actually said that, like, if you won't make this happen, I'll hire somebody that will. Yep. But I do think that it's such a clear method. Like, first of all, Disney should not be a judge of anybody's moral behavior. Okay, like at all. If anything, they need to look at, like, people need to be looking at Disney's moral behavior. I mean, Disney did have a cruise that went to the one island owned by the Steen guy that, absolutely positively offed himself in jail. It was a for sure thing, that he offed himself in jail. Yeah, if the cameras wouldn't have been turned off, I'm sure we would have saw it. But they were, unfortunately somehow disabled. What's funny is I literally have for Legacy, we bought our camera kit at Costco. We've never had a downtime where the cameras don't work in the history of Legacy. Like, it's not that hard. Tiger Fitness has cameras everywhere except the bathrooms. So, I mean, and I can go on right now and show you exactly what everybody's doing. It's not that hard for a camera to go down at the exact time. Like, so the chance of a camera system going down is almost zero, especially when you have a given time. It should literally be the most secure place in the city, in the town, in the state. It's a prison. But oh my God. Before we ADHD off to a different thing. But Musk basically stated, like, when the guy was like, so what does that mean for the company? And he was like, it'll kill the company. So meaning it might kill Twitter, right? Yeah. Here's what they don't understand. Musk would be able to show damages from this. He would have to show that they would do this for every other platform that has something very similar to what Musk said on it, which TikTok has way more anti-Semitic stuff than what Elon Musk said, like way more. There are people on TikTok making videos, like pro-Palestine people, like talking about killing all of Marc's ancestors. Like, it's insane, right? Leave me out of it. Right, but I mean, I got Michigan fans on my side now, so I've chosen. Yeah, but yeah, you've chosen right. You've chosen well. Right. Yes, we beat Ohio State. But they really, they would have to show that they treat all platforms the same, right? And they're not just going after Musk, and they didn't cause damage. Well, he can absolutely show damages. Like, he could show damages already. I mean, he's going to sue Media Matters for an incredible amount of money. I can't even imagine how much he's going to sue them for. I don't even know. It's going to be crazy. But if they tank Twitter, he can sue them for the price of what he paid for Twitter. Oh my God, future earnings. You're absolutely correct. That would put everybody out of business. It'd be done. Yeah. He could be doing this to end up owning Disney. I mean, he pretty much has the, no pun intended, Trump card. I mean, he's playing 4D chess. Elon is doing everything we hope Donald Trump would do. Like, Elon is doing it. He's literally getting on national TV and telling Disney CEO to go F himself. I mean, what a G. Like, I can't, Elon is my favorite person in the world. I don't care if that offends you. Do you know exactly what he said that was anti-Semitic? I don't. That's why I was going to see, like, I don't keep track of that stuff because I don't care, but let me see if I can find it. Elon's like, kill the Jews. It's like, whoa, Elon. No, I think it was he retweeted something and he said, good question. It wasn't like he said something directly. It was like, all right, here it is, right? It was a retweet and a comment about the retweet, if I'm not mistaken. Wow. It's a retweet. Like, I retweet shit I don't agree with all the time.
Oh, yeah, I do it just for conversation and for the lulls.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Here we go. This way people can see it. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, load it up.
They don't need to see it's not the tweet, but they get to see him going, this is just amazing. When you said this to me, I was like, oh my God, he is just absolutely
it's amazing.
I mean, this is gangster right here. It really is.
And advertisers, including our parent company Disney, who left his social media company X after Musk endorsed an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory in a post. Aaron Kotoshi's back here with that story. Good morning, Aaron.
George, good morning. Elon Musk apologized for that anti-Semitic post, but he quickly lashed out at advertisers that have pulled out from X.
I did clarify almost immediately what I meant.
This morning, Elon Musk's regret at the annual New York Times Dealbook Summit. He said he should not have responded to a post on his social media network X that spouted an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory.
You know, if I could go back and say I should, in retrospect, not have replied to that particular person, and I should have written in greater length as to what I meant.
Musk then apologized.
Essentially, I handed a loaded gun to those who hate me, and arguably.
That's not really an apology. That's just
he
him
did not
stating,
apologize.
That's just him stating that, like, okay, I gave the people that don't like me fuel. Like that's what that is. It's not really an apology.
To those who are anti-Semitic, and for that, I'm quite sorry. That is not. That was not my intention.
Musk wrote, "You have said the actual truth," after a user posted that, quote, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them.
He's kind of right. Hold on. Pause. He's kind of right. I mean, if you go to New York, a lot of the Democratic Jews in New York, they're BLM, they're espousing all this hate. And I think that's what he's referring to. At the end of the day, the liberal Jews in New York, they had a rude awakening when the entire half of the Democratic Party wants to end Jews, not Israel. They want to end Jews because I don't even know if I'm not even really a Zionist. Here's the thing. What is Zionism? I actually did a video on this yesterday. Zionism is the belief that Israel should have a state. Okay. It's the belief that Israel should exist. Hence, from the river to the sea, Palestine should be free, means we need to get rid of all the Jews. That way, it doesn't mean we're going to assimilate them into our culture. I'm just being real. Here's why I'm not a Zionist. I'll tell you why. Because I don't care. I'm an Americanist. I believe America should exist. Everybody else should fend for themselves out there. I've never been to Israel. I happen to be Jewish. I like my faith. I'm proud of my heritage. But I would hope everybody in America shares my belief that your country that you've lived in, that has given you all your opportunity, should be your first priority. I don't think we should go out destroying American streets, taking down American flags, putting up flags of Palestine. If you like it so much, get your ass to Gaza and fight.
Yeah.
Okay. I guarantee you,
100%.
if everybody crying about it went over there, they'd have the numbers over Israel. They'd have the numbers. Israel's got like 20 people. Like if you like that shit that much, and same with the pro-Israel people. Hey, if you believe that strongly, go fight. Yeah. Go do it, man. I'm not even mad.
What does waving a Palestinian or even Israeli flag in America, screaming at Americans, ripping down American flags? I saw this earlier where in New York City, at the tree lighting, the Christmas tree lighting, for goodness sake, there was a pro-Palestinian protest, and some guy had an American flag, and they were trying to yank it away from him. Like, what? You're in America flying the flag of another country, tearing down our flag. Go to that country. I
don't even want to see an Israeli flag. I don't care. I don't want to see any flags but the American flag. Look, man, I'm proud of my hair. Again, there's no person in this world more proud to be Jewish than I am. My family has overcome a lot of shit. I'm not playing the victim card. I'm not a victim. My family, they were victims, but they came out of it. You know, some of them died. A lot of them died. But hey, the world isn't a fair place. People die. The Irish have a claim to that. Black people, for sure, they were enslaved in this very country. Everybody has a reason to bitch and complain.
Yeah.
But am I a Zionist? I guess if you put a gun to my head and you said, should Israel be a state? And again, I said this in my video yesterday, being that my mom literally came from Israel, I'd probably say, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to have a state of Jews. But like, if I'm not forced to answer, I'm going to be like, I don't care. I just don't like, there's a reason my mom and her family left Israel because America's fucking awesome. Like, be proud to be an American. Let them handle their shit because I guarantee this shit goes. We had riots in 2020. I'm sorry. We had a lot of love in 2020. It was a summer of love getting together.
They were mostly fired. There was mildly fiery protests.
Here's the thing though, like, and the beautiful thing, those protests, they're mostly peaceful, fiery protest, but fiery protests. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. So the beautiful thing about it is during the protests, they cured the pandemic because they didn't have to wear masks, but we did. Yeah. So that was cool. The WHO even said, like, they don't have to wear masks because this is more important than that. So it killed us. So obviously, if you are a victim, you can't get it. Right. So they literally cured it. Thank you, BLM.
Yeah.
So, you guys awesome. But I just don't understand why, if America was going through shit, was France like, I stand with America. Our streets are burning down. Nobody cared. They were watching it like, those dumb Americans. Israel was like, you fucking goys.
I mean, Ukraine didn't give a shit. They just wanted money. Like,
oh, what about Ukraine, dude? Let's go off on that. Like, what happened to Ukraine? Did they win?
I don't think they won. I do not believe they won.
But if we don't hear about it anymore, they obviously won. I don't see any Ukraine flags in bios anymore. None. I just get them every day from people hating on me. Not one Ukraine flag. Where'd you guys go? They have a Palestinian flag.
Yeah, they have a Palestinian flag now. They went from Ukraine flags to the rainbow flag, and then they went to then they went to the Palestinian flag. Here's have you seen the thing? It's like gays are converting to Islam and shit like that.
It was one video where some transgender, I think it was male to female or female to male. I get confused. It was somebody who had a body part that didn't represent what they think they are.
Okay.
Will YouTube ban us? I don't think they will. So basically, that's it. But it was one person, singular they. So singular they were like, hey, I'm reading the Quran. It's so great. You do realize what the Quran says to do to gay people. I love it. And the Ukraine, but think about it. All the rainbow flag in Ukraine or Palestine. Oh, you do realize Israel is very pro LGBTQ. Israel, Tel Aviv is basically West Hollywood right now. Right. Yeah. And then you go, and then the two things they're backing want to kill the gays. The Palestinians hate the gays. They literally push them off of roofs. That's like what they do. It's not like they're just, there's a gay guy on a roof, let's push him off. No, it's like their thing. If you're gay, they push you off a roof.
Yeah.
But Ukrainians hate the gays.
He's not being hyperbolic. That is what they do.
That's what they do. It's like cutting off hands and shit. If you're gay, you have death by flying off a roof, which I have no idea how they did that shit before they had tall buildings, but I'm sure it was just as barbaric.
Right.
They don't like gay people. And did you see that one video where they're doing that Palestine rally and that Antifa guy's like, trans rights, and the Palestinian girl's like, hold up. Like, slow down. No, we ain't for that. You got to get out of here. We're going to push your ass off a building.
It's weird because
Sharia law, bro. Feminists. Yeah. How can a feminist be pro-Palestinian? They literally follow Sharia law. Look that shit up. It's not good.
Yeah. That's another thing too. I see that a lot where it is a lot of, it seems to be like a lot of women screaming about pro-Palestine and the genocide, stop the genocide of Palestine and everything like that. And here's my thing, just for the record, I don't want anybody to die, but I gotta be real. That ain't none of my business. I'm worried about America. That's not my business. I mean, you guys do that shit. You guys do your shit. There's as a newsflash, there's war going on all over the globe. You don't think that there's people dying and fighting in Africa? There is. You don't think there's people dying and fighting in different parts of Europe? We're only told about the ones that the media and the advertisers want us to know anyway, right? But I don't understand how people have gotten here. We're free Palestine and this and that. There's this one fat acceptance girl I talk about. Her name's Jordan Underwood. She's 600 pounds. Right. She is supposedly he, even though she wears a bikini and you can obviously tell she's a female, wears makeup. She's a they, he, 600-pound female, and she's pro-Palestine. Like, you'd last 15 minutes, like literally 15 minutes. They would probably, and what they would do to you is in fact horrible. I don't even want to repeat it. Like,
It's
I mean,
disgusting.
It's horrible. What they would do
my
to you.
mom lived there. My mom served in the IDF, and my mom told me stories about the punishments they lashed out at their people. And she actually, I mean, because she had run-ins with them. Obviously, my mom was in combat, so my mom didn't just so in Israel, like, women are in combat, and if they're smaller, they're in some crazy, like, she killed people. Like, my mom killed people. Killt people, killed them motherfuckers. And she was telling me, my mom would tell me crazy stories. And again, like, I don't know, I'm gonna be real. Like, my mom, there's no love lost between the Arabs and the Jews. That's number one. And my mom is fresh off the boat. Okay, fresh off the boat. My mom would tell me she'd run up on people literally fucking goats. Okay, I can't say it's true. I don't know. My mom would say that she'd come up on like incest stuff. That she'd witness like beheadings, public beheadings for people who steal stuff. The stories I've heard about that region. Look, man, they're a different culture. They're a culture that they're old school. They have not evolved into what we would consider humanity. In that, and I'm not saying that as an insult, because I actually think that the death penalty is inhumane, and the evolution of but Alan's pro death penalty, so I think Alan himself is a barbaric person. He is. But no, I'm trying to make it softer. What I'm saying is that I don't think people understand. And unless like you talk to like a Tim Kennedy or someone who's actually served in Afghanistan, who served in Iraq, who served in the Middle East, it's different. It's not here. It's not what we would consider civilized. And so these gay people, and again, I'm pro do what you want, do who you want. I don't believe that. I think they've been told, but they don't believe how fucked up humans can be when they have not evolved.
Well, and it's unfortunate. And I always point this out. I get asked questions about the military all the time, like because our military has gone woke. I think I spoke about this the other day, but our military being woke leaves them woefully ill prepared for the savagery of what happens around the world. Like, we're worried about diversity and shit. I got a news flash. That is considered weakness around the world. They will use that against us. We need savages, because that's what they have. You know, like that they have savages. You need to train almost part of the humanity out of people for being a soldier, because you might be asked to do something you don't fully understand, but you need to do it, and it might not be good for other people. You know, like, but it's an important thing to do. I just think that people are like the craziness. We've gotten so polar. Like, me and you and a few other people are some of the only people I know that are just like, we're talking about this right now, guys, because it's a topic and we want to discuss it. I believe this. Do not care. I don't care what they do. I really, really don't. I want to close our borders. I want to make sure that we are sound. I want to deport anybody that is here illegally. Anybody that came across the border not through normal methodology, I want to deport them. I don't want them to get another dollar of our money. I don't want to support them. I don't want to make tent cities. I don't want to do anything like that. I don't want to use our federal land, our federal parks.
Oh my goodness!
To create tent cities. Did anybody hear about that?
You sent it to me this morning. It shocked me.
Yeah. That's because it is in fact shocking. I can't even believe it, but Biden is moving towards making our national parks into tent cities for illegal aliens. I'm not calling them migrants; they're illegal aliens.
They're not migrants, and they're not like, it's not humanitarian. Like, here's the thing I noticed. I don't want to sound like, they don't look poor. Like they're wearing Nike and dude. I saw a dude like one of the Africans who went to Italy. Dude was in like a full fucking $200 Nike getup. Dude had fucking swag. I mean,
how are they like? Here's who is sending them. Like who is sending them? Because like, how are they getting there? You know, like because a lot of these people are from like they're not from. Newsflash, they're not from Mexico. Like there's people from Turkey, from Serbia. Like we are at a time where we should be worried about terrorist attacks on American soil. And it wouldn't be hard, folks. They could just walk the fuck across the border and then then we would house them and then we would start giving them money because they get a monthly stipend and shit like that. It's in fact crazy. It's full on crazy, you know? And but that's Biden's thing. They're going to be while everybody was worried about the Chiefs fan, and that took the news. Like the main thing of the news is the Chiefs fan, which we're going to get to in a second. They absolutely like this. They're going to try to start putting all the migrants into basically our national parks. It's the government's not for America anymore. I keep saying this. The government is just not for Americans anymore. Like
maybe this is like Man vs. Wild, where like they're gonna have to fight grizzly bears and shit.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Was that big boy Cannon who was on that TV show wrestling, like doing feats against a grizzly bear? That was him. I got to find it. Like they put him on this pilot TV show. It was like man versus grizzly bear, and it was like a tug of war. I have big friends.
Yeah, Cannon's an enormous. He's like we're not even the same species, me and him.
He was a D1 football. He's a D1 football player. He's a giant. Dude, he benches 405 like it's like 135.
Yeah, he's enormous. Like he's a big dude. Big dude.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a big, strong man. Big, strong man.
Strapping young man. He's a strapping young man.
He's from Louisiana, so you can't understand a word he says. No. Dude, I sat next to him at we had dinner together one time in a group, but it was us and one other guy at the Yard House. It's a little bit loud in there. And he was trying to explain to me this idea to make protein-filled ramen noodles. This is like $1 million idea. And I think that's what he said. I don't know. I can only understand every like 4 words. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that's what went on. And then so Sean came up and he heard a little of it and then he kind of left. I'm like, oh no, more ramen noodles. I love Cannon though, that guy. But he's if you don't watch his mouth, you cannot understand what he's saying.
Yeah, you almost got to read lips. So
what a great guy though. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. Very Southern. Very Southern.
Yeah. Which just makes I like Southern people, man.
I love Southern people. Yep.
So I'm gonna pull something up here for you.
Oh,
this is on the Washington Examiner. This I found to be hilarious because this is how you know that the culture is starting to change back a little bit. First of all, father of young Kansas City Chief fans say it's a little too late for an apology. They are going to sue.
Oh, the defamation. See, here's the thing.
They shit out of them.
The thing is, he's like, what, 8? So they can claim that it's going to affect his fucking earnings based on, let's say, an average of $250,000 a year from the age of like 15 to 90.
Yeah, they're going to sue him so hard.
And keep in mind mental damages from what he's having to go through at school and being smeared on the internet. So this guy, his name's Karen, which is, did you see what Olivia Rundu said, the wrestler?
No.
She was a wrestler. Olivia was like, LOL, I just realized his name's Carron. She said, LOL, this is the N version of Karen.
Oh my God.
Because her name's Karen, but it's Carron. And she can use that word for obvious reasons. I'm not going to use that word.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to be canceled. And I don't know. I'm okay with being canceled. I don't want to get my ass kicked.
There's a big difference. We've been canceled.
I don't like the word.
Ain't no big thing.
I don't like the word. Yeah. I'm not a fan of it. If I was black, I wouldn't use the word. I just think it has historical. So I'm like, hey, if they not meaning like if other people want to use it, What do you mean, though? You can't have them clustering, okay?
What do you mean, you people? So, yeah, we're gonna get canceled anyway.
We're talking about all non-whites.
Yeah.
So it's not just blacks; it's everybody.
Everybody, yeah. Yeah, I had people calling me the N-word a bunch of times this past week, and I keep correcting them. It's cracker, you know.
Cracker.
Don't use the cracker. Don't use the hard R.
Yeah.
Don't use the hard R. Hard
So
R.
this
hard R is
kid,
wrong.
if you saw this kid, like they're just a normal family, and I've been to Kansas City. I was just in Kansas City a few weeks ago, and we had a parking lot event. Boy, do they love their Chiefs. And they love Patrick Mahomes. And the wholesome thing that I got, the real thing I like that I got out of this, there's always going to be a good, is like the players on the sideline took time out during the game to do the tomahawk chop with him. Yeah. And that was, and they were, by the way, they were black players. Yeah. It's not insulting. I mean, and even if he was in all black face, who cares?
Who cares? First of all, it's a 9-year-old. Like this guy viscerally, this quote unquote reporter, propagandist is what I prefer to call him, came after a 9-year-old saying he was in blackface, purposely used a picture of just the one side of his face that looked like he was wearing blackface. And then he was like, okay, he doubled down, like on Twitter, he doubled down and said, okay, so his face is red on the other side. He was like, and I could argue that makes it even worse. The kid is actually Native American.
His dad's like a member of a tribe. He's like in their like government
council. Yeah, his grandfather's in their council. That is one of the best self-owns of the 2020s so far, where it's like, no, I know I fucked up because I picked on a little kid and I accused him of being a racist and I'm slandering this little kid. Wrote a whole news article about him. Oh, I was wrong about the black thing. So here's what I say about that, and that's racist against American Indians too. And shit, they are going to sue the fuck out of that.
I wouldn't just have an attorney, Alan. I would have a team of attorneys. I would find every Jewish attorney. I'd be like, hey, Zionists, let's go. Yeah. Speaking of, can we go ADHD real quick?
Yeah.
So I've become more and more atheist. I'm going to join your team, Alan, because this is the kind of shit you get from Christians. Christians, you guys got to stop this shit. Basically, this guy's saying that all Jews are Abraham's son. Okay, dude, you realize the Bible, like, you got to stop taking that shit so literally. Yeah. Like, this is to say something like this, dude. There's a lot of words I want to say to you saying that, all Jews are Satan hiding. Fuck you. Seriously, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah. Fuck you. Fuck you. I don't want you following me. I don't like you. Like anybody who say that all Jews are Satan hiding. Hopefully you misspoke. And also fucking comb your beard, you sloppy motherfucker. Fat fuck. Sorry. Okay. I don't like that. Stop it, Christians. You don't need to do that. Every time you have a chance to tell someone to go to hell, just keep it to yourself.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting topic we could talk about because here's my thing.
Well, I like the Native American kid though.
Let's bring the Native Americans back. But just to be real, like what Marc's saying is to Isaac, Braden, Elo, risen Christ. First of all, what you just did is going to end you up in hell because you just judged somebody and you are nobody to judge. Apparently, according to your book, Jesus is supposed to judge. Which, by the way, I find it weird that your book doesn't include the Book of Enoch nor the Book of Giants, which is crazy because those are actually biblical books and the canons decided to keep them out of it. I don't know why. So you really, I have a hard time believing you've read the whole Bible because 90% of all Christians haven't read the whole Bible. And my thing is religion, if you are going to be religious, it should be something that you use to better yourself and want the best for all of humanity. One of the reasons why I can't get myself to be religious, and I have seen some shit lately in this world where I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain that, but I'm not ready to not ready to admit that there might be something else after. Because multiple dimensions, whatever. But here's why. Religion is a tool of control. It has been used to control the masses for centuries and centuries and centuries. Like one of the reasons why, why Jewish people don't eat pork? Because back in the day, before we had refrigerators and stuff like that, pork would fucking kill you.
Trichnosis.
You know, like,
Trichnosis.
yeah.
It was literally a law put in the Bible to prevent food poisoning. All the Bible is a justification of laws that needed to be had to have a just society.
Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. If you can read the Bible and you have faith, I applaud you and I support you, because
don't
we
go
live in a
telling
country,
Jews they're going to hell, dude.
But we have freedom of religion. The very second you start judging other people about their religion, you have gone against, especially if you're Christian, you've gone against your own religion. And therefore, if you, like you saying Marc is going to hell, you are now dooming yourself to the same hell that you think Marc is going to, which for you would be deserved, because Marc is just living his life, you know? Like you're painting an entire race of people. That is very bigoted. Anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
It truly is. And here's the deal. You don't know until you die. Like you could be being a dick for no reason. Like, come on. Like, dude, you know how many times on Twitter, unless you accept Jesus, accept these nuts. Shut up. Shut up. I'm fucking tired of it. I'm the biggest fan of Christianity until you pull that shit. I hate the elitism. And you know what? That just means you suck in life. If you have to use religion to put people down, that means you suck in life. Like, you suck in life. That's how you're going to identify yourself, by just a religion to put other people down. How about this? Out earn me, bitch. Outwork me. Then I'll fucking respect your dumb ass, because God ain't going to save your poor ass.
Now, I'm the first one to say that some people need religion. They absolutely do, because some people lack a moral anchor. You didn't listen to my other comments. No, there's no need to. None.
The one was enough.
The one was enough, bro. We're not having a discussion with you. In fact, we're done talking to you or about that. So,
and let's get back to the Indian.
Let's get back to the Indian kid.
I'm sorry, Native American.
Native American Indian. I got some native blood in me. I'm allowed to say whatever the fuck I want.
My wife traces back to Pocahontas.
Damn, she can say whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, her mom actually found that out like before like the 23andMe. Like they found that out old school.
Yeah, have you ever done 23andMe?
Yes, I have. I have it right on my phone. And that's why I know that Jews are inbred. When I go to New York, I have 80 million third cousins.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Dude, they are. Jews in Middle East. The whole Middle East is terribly inbred. From Iranians, there's some statistic on Joe Rogan. It's like 80% of like Iranians or something are inbred, and like Jews are pretty damn inbred. That explains a lot. I'm like, oh, so I'm inbred. Okay. I mean, but it's like good inbreeding, like second cousins.
Yeah, good inbreeding. Like, because there's a thing that's good inbreeding. Anyway, here's what I find amazing. We're at a stage right now where they don't even care about the truth. Like this, like it could have taken just a little bit of research for this journalist, quote unquote journalist. I mean, to find out that this kid is just a Chiefs fan. Like it's so purposely misrepresentative. Kid. Yeah, he's a cute kid. It's so purposely misrepresentative to like try to ruin this child's life. Like that's where we're at in society. And I find that to be just so fucking weird, dude. I find it to be so weird where like people don't want the best for other people anymore. I really think that like they want to force their will upon others to such a great degree that there's no room for freedom, you know? We're not even going to get. There's the thing is, there's not a major understanding about. Like somebody just said, we both have a major understanding about the Bible and also just philosophy. No, it's our interpretation. Like just because you interpret it one way doesn't mean other people's interpretation is false or misunderstood. It's that their actual interpretation. You know, so, and that's what I think. Yeah. That's what I think. Religion is very, very, very. Individualistic. That's why somebody just said I'm religious, but I don't go to church because I'm not giving them my money. I wouldn't. If I was religious, I absolutely would not go to church. Churches are businesses. If you give your money to the church, you are stupid. If you give your money to the Catholic Church, if you give your money to the Catholic Church, you are stupid and support pedophilia. So,
well, I mean, the Catholic Church, they're the richest landowners in the world.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's still a statistic. It was a few years ago. Now I think it's probably Bill Gates, but nonetheless, I think that I love religion. I think a society without religion is doomed to fail. And we're seeing that right now. We need more, not less religion. But the way to get people into Christianity isn't just to blanket them and tell them they're going to hell. You invite them in, you say, hey, we love you. Christians love everybody. Come to our church, give them some holiday cookies and some milk and call it a day. But going out and just look, good Christians, like good, look, man, the guy who mentored me, Coach Miles, is a reverend. He never sold me religion, but he made me love Christianity because he was a good man. But Coach Miles wasn't like, man, when you get hurt on the field, if you die, you going to hell because you a Jew. Like, yeah, he did kind of talk like Mr. T.
Yeah. And so I wanted to answer this one real quick because this person says, do you think it's immoral to support the Catholic schools and hospitals? I think I think your intention has a lot to do with whether it's immoral or not. Okay. However, the Catholic Church is in fact just a large business that has in fact a long history of not only covering up pedophilia, but enabling it. This is real. That is factual. And you and your intentions on supporting a Catholic school or a hospital, that's your intentions. It's not the intention has a lot to do with the morality of something. It's the same thing. Like people are like, oh, all murder, like all death, the taking of another life is always murder. It's always immoral. Then fine, but my intention of turning on a wood chipper and introducing a pedophile to it is in fact very moral because I don't want them to hurt any other children. And I'm not saying I've done that. I'm saying I would. And just put it out there.
Yeah.
And in reality, like it's that is like my intention would be, removing an animal that might harm children from the planet. So I would feel very moral. I would sleep super good at night, like super good at night. But so if you support a Catholic school or a Catholic hospital, that's great. By the way, I've written the budgets for some Catholic hospitals. They literally just take advantage of you motherfuckers so fucking bad. It's incredible. Just so you know, they take advantage of their profit line, even though they don't necessarily have a profit line because they're nonprofit. The pay that the hospital administrator gets and the board of directors gets and everything like that is the reason why Catholic hospitals are so expensive. It is insane. Their margins are absolutely insane. So, and I mean, that's my personal experience helping to write those budgets.
That's crazy. You know what's even crazier? Trump getting the support of BLM.
Yes, that's right. Dude, it is. I swear we dimensional shifted again. Like, what is going on? I don't even understand what's going on. There's also there was one today that I was getting ready to send you. There is like a group of people from Chicago saying like black people don't support Democrats anymore. We've given you our money, we've given our this, blah blah blah, and you're letting. It's like, what is going on? I think it's actually a mistake that Trump was like, even BLM is supporting me. Like, I think that's a mistake.
I don't. I think it's brilliant. I mean, let's be real. Like, a lot of people don't understand what BLM became, right? Like, they don't know the grift. Dude, I still have kids come to my facility. I don't say anything. I keep that out of the facility. You know that. But like, I have kids who will wear like BLM bands around their wrist. They have no idea because, look, man, at the end of the day, people are literal. The name says Black Lives Matter. It makes sense, right? It makes sense that Black lives do matter. I like Black lives. I don't think we should kill Black people. So Black Lives Matter, right? I mean, I look at it like that. Like, so I actually can see how you're like, oh, wow, BLM supports Trump. It's actually kind of dope. Did I just mess this up?
No. Perfect.
Share this.
Spoke with Marc. Oop.
Oh, I messed up. Oh, there it is. Now I got it. Add to stage. Now I got it. Ah. Oh no, that's the wrong one. That's yours. Darn, where'd it go? Is this it? Ah, there it is.
I'll get rid of that screen shares.
I have done more for Black people than any other president. Lincoln, ? Including 10-year funding for HBCUs, where they had none, opportunity zones, criminal justice reform, and much more. Thank you to Marc. So apparently, Mark Fisher is the guy who, I guess he's a BLM guy, and he supported Trump. That's crazy.
Well, to me, that because here's the thing. BLM, when it first started, before it became a fundraising engine for, before it was co-opted, because the Democratic Party just co-opted it. I mean, they really did. You know, they kind of functionally took over the fundraising and everything like that for it. It became a business and a political thing, right? Thinking of Black Lives Matter, I mean, absolutely, especially when we were at a stage where it was looking like, okay, there's been a few of these shootings that are a little crazy. However, I would argue that black on black crime will always be like the forgotten about statistic. It's like the Voldemort statistic. I'm wearing my Harry Potter shirt, so I got to say that. Yeah. But it's like a Voldemort statistic. Like they don't want to mention it at all. But black on black crime is about 88% of all crime against Black people. You know, and that's kind of that's the one that should be talked about. But I would argue that Black Lives Matter should cover that too. And if they would, that would be different. And I think they are.
I would love them too.
Yeah, I think they are, because you see a lot of people from Chicago all of a sudden standing up and being like, "We need to change what the fuck's going on." You know,
what's the catalyst for that, Alan? I want to hear. You know what the catalyst is? What I think it is?
What do you
Immigration.
think?
Immigration.
Yep.
100%.
100%.
Because all of the resources that the Black community needs. So the Black community, in fact, the actual Black community, not the criminals, they want more police. They want their streets safe. They do not want drive-bys every day. The average person on the south side of Chicago just tries to survive every day. If we were to take the $100 billion we sent to Ukraine, hire more police officers, put more programs in, Chicago would be safe within a week. But instead, we're helping white people in Ukraine. Yeah. I mean, I've been saying this since the beginning, and it seems to go over everybody's head. Why don't we make this a race issue? Of all things to make a race issue, why is it that we can't get clean water in Flint? Why is it that we can't clean up the streets in Baltimore, in New York, in Chicago, in Memphis? We have the murder rate in Memphis is the highest in the country. You have 30 black kids dying every weekend in Chicago. 30 dozens of black kids are dying. And I don't know about you, but I don't see black kids dying. I see 30 Americans are dying. And I'm worried about a country I couldn't even show you on a fucking map. You know what they're doing in Ukraine? And I think I could say this now. Why won't they let us audit the money? Why are they not letting us audit the money? Why? Because the money it's going to audit. It's going to come right back here, baby. It's going to come right back here. 100%.
Zelensky owns like 3 yachts. Like,
he still shows up in fatigues. Like he's actually, why is he wearing fatigues? He ain't fighting. That's like Donald Trump wearing fatigues. If we were in that's like Joe Biden showing up in fatigues. Yeah, like dude ain't on the front lines. Dude's wearing fatigues. It's all cosplay, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah. And somebody said, I've never felt financial effects of an election until now. People are over it. I can definitely see that too.
Horrible.
But I do believe Marc is absolutely 100% right. The tipping point was they found a new, like, it's almost like for some reason, the Democratic Party has taken on the concept of these illegal immigrants as like their new, like, we need to support these people. These people are victims, and they're not, and nobody's buying it anymore. And even the people that they have dropped are also just like, what the hell's going on? Like how is this even a thing? And why are you giving them our money? Somebody talked about the immigration issue going on in Ireland. Their government's doing what our government's trying to do. Their government is protecting their immigrants so much that they are going to start putting people like the Irish people in jail for even stating that they want them out of the country. Look for Ireland. Ireland's going to have a very hard time here soon. They should elect
another civil war. It's another civil war.
Conor McGregor is going to be. Conor McGregor is a historical figure anyway because of how dominant he was in the UFC. Mark my words. We can circle back to this. Like we can do a Jen Psaki on this here.
Yeah.
In a couple months, Conor McGregor is going to be in history books for a lot more than what he does for what he did for the UFC. A lot more. He is going to be. He is going to be in history books for what happens next, I believe, because he is, in fact, yeah, I do. I think he's going to lead a revolution. I really do, because he's just not backing down. And some people are going. You mentioned Flint also too. How long have they been out? I hate to switch, but how long have they not had drinking water?
Well, they have drinking water. It's just not safe. So it's been years, probably a decade.
Probably.
I mean, there's been since Obama.
Yeah.
I mean, and the crazy thing is, but yet, and the federal. Well, look at what happened in Palestine, Ohio.
Yeah.
Like, we don't care about Palestine here, but we care about Palestine there. Like, look, they literally had that explosion. They had that spill, and nobody cared. Yeah. If Biden still hasn't visited. And it's Ohio. It's not that far from DC, bro. It's a quick flight. Dude has his own plane. Okay. At the end of the day, the reason he didn't visit there is because they're Republicans. Because Ohio, that area of Ohio is deep red. And he's not going to visit those dirty, what did Hillary call it? Deplorables.
He's not going to go anywhere where on camera he'll get booed. You know? I
mean, dude, but he's getting booed in like everywhere. He got booed in Nantucket last weekend.
Yeah. Somebody said I see illegals with their country flag hanging inside their cars, rearview mirrors. How do they drive in? How do they own a vehicle? Like that's what it's so far. I have voted all across the political spectrum. I have always been against illegal immigration because this is allowing illegal immigration is us literally being robbed by our government to give it to people who don't deserve it. They do not deserve it. I am all for legal immigration. I would not be here if it was not for legal immigration. Mark would not be here if it was not for legal immigration. But I am absolutely 100% against anybody. I don't care anybody. Not only do I think that they should be deported immediately, but if you own a company and you employ a person knowing that they're an illegal alien, your company should be immediately seized and the resources of your company, the assets, be distributed to the local area of where the asset is. Like if you own a manufacturing plant and you want to put a bunch of illegal aliens in that manufacturing plant, they should immediately seize that and give it to the people of that area. They can own it, like the people of that area can own it collectively, and then they can run it. Because that is, to me, we have to start looking out for Americans first. Not America first, because there's a big difference in that. Americans first. Not American corporation. America first looks out for our corporations. Americans first looks out for us.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I have issue giving more power to the government to take stuff from companies because then they'll be like, there's an illegal and he's not illegal. And they could have false documents. I just don't trust the government. But I do share that sentiment that
I think it should be the state governments to do that.
State government should do everything. I think we should get rid of federal tax completely and just get rid of I don't see a need much for a federal government. I mean, the federal tax was supposed to be temporary to pay for the Civil War. Yeah. That was it. How temporary? Now we're paying now the upper bracket's 37%. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. Well, the federal government's entire job is to protect our rights and secure our border and have common defense. We have the common defense, but we have common defense, but we don't have a border, and they are, in fact, it has been shown. Like we should have already been marching because we know that they are like, suppressing us. They aren't aliens, bro. They're people.
No. Okay, fine. They're not aliens. They're fucking criminals. They're in here illegally. They're criminals. Okay, they're not aliens. Okay, fine. They're criminals. Is that okay illegal with you, migrants. Bro? They're not aliens. Well, I mean, alien doesn't necessarily mean alien. I believe there's a term.
It means foreign.
It means foreign. Like, yeah, so they are actually by definition aliens.
I'm sorry that my brain works faster than yours and my vocabulary is better, buddy. Keep cutting hair. I got no use for you. I'm bald as fuck. Get the fuck out of here.
Wait, is there a hair one? Is there a hair comment?
No, he's Drew Cuts.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you have other hair. Like, you could have him cut that. What? You got to trim it.
I got somebody for that. So
it looks bigger when you have it trimmed.
How's it going, guys? Just running in from Los Angeles. Okay.
Hey, man, I go to LA a lot.
Yeah. People who should not be here. Yes, that's perfect. People that should not be here. I think that is that if you could have, and I wanted to ask you this before we wrap up. If you had to choose a president on one issue, what would it be?
It'd be well, I mean, I'm going to go with taxes. Taxes followed closely by war. Are you pro or anti-war?
I think taxes, if the elimination of the IRS. First of all, if you want to save us a bunch of tax money, eliminate the IRS.
Put a flat tax in and just have an organization that makes sure that you pay your bill. Just have a collection agency. Hey, bro, you owe 10%. You made 100 grand, you owe us 10 G's, and we're done.
It doesn't need to be this big, complicated thing. It's simple, basic fucking math, right? My thing is a sales tax, a luxury sales tax for the federal government also. That way people get to decide what they want to spend it on. And if it's such a ridiculous thing right now because you just said the largest tax bracket is 37.5, I believe.
Yeah.
When they're taxing the fuck out of us, but then they're just still borrowing money in our name as if we're at a $2 trillion deficit, dude. Like, yeah. It's not like they're like doing a good fiduciary job for managing our money. You know, like
it's terrible.
If they were the board of directors of a corporation you and I owned, me and you would be fucking throwing them out windows. You know what I mean? Like,
we'll be like Palestinians throwing them off top of the buildings.
Right? Yeah. You know, but I agree.
I think we're
I agree with you. Taxes.
I mean, you can't afford to live. You see these millennials. Millennials can't buy houses anymore.
No.
You know, they can't afford houses. You can't buy a house. The salaries have not kept up with the housing market and the housing demand. Inflation's through the roof. You know, it's at the point now where you used to be able to have a dual parent household where one parent would work and one parent would watch the child. That's almost impossible now because you just can't afford to live. Because I mean, by the time you pay, let's say you're 30, let's say you're at the 20, let's say 30%. Okay, you're right in the middle. You have 30%. Then you pay property tax, which depending on where you live can either be a lot or a little. Okay. Right. Usually like if you live in Illinois or California or New Jersey, you're fucked. Okay. You have property tax. You have state tax, unless you live in the 5 states without state tax. You have sometimes a city or a county tax. You have an actual consumption tax when you buy things at the grocery store. So look at all those taxes. If you're in even a middle tax bracket, you're closing in on 50%. And then if God forbid you save up money and you die, they tax you again. They tax your inheritance. How the hell are we not rioting in the streets? Like,
the tax of inheritance, Jesus Christ, is amazing.
So you're taxed on the money you make. And then when you die, you're taxed on it again as a punishment for dying.
Yeah, that's insane.
Tell me how that makes sense.
Yeah, when you
how
think
does
about
anybody
it.
Okay? How is anybody okay? Oh, but these liberals are like, yeah, the inheritance tax just benefits the rich. I'm like, you worked your whole fucking life for your family, and now they're going to just take it from you and give it to Ukraine.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's another problem too. I see. Mine is a little different. I would vote on a president that promises to get back to constitutionality. But that is so like that helps with
it's not going to happen.
Privacy, stuff like that. No, it's not going to happen. It's not like, but you dude, you know, you always say we're not voting our way out of this shit.
I honestly think Alan, I don't think we've tried. Like every lockdown governor from Abbott in Texas to Whitmer in Michigan, a Republican and a Democrat, we did not primary one pro lockdown governor. Okay.
Crazy.
And so I can tell you that dude, nobody wanted Abbott to win. Like Abbott's not like Democrats weren't fixing the election for him. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, man, he won because more people voted for him than voted for the other guy.
Yeah.
Put that in perspective. We keep electing people who take our rights away and we reward them with re-election. And Abbott is a Republican versus a Republican, and we still kept him in.
That's very true.
Think about that for a second. Think about
Very
that for a
sadly
second.
true.
So Whitmer won, and Whitmer was the most, she literally stopped people from buying seeds from Walmart to grow plants.
That's so crazy.
And they voted her back
insane.
in. She won by a landslide.
Yeah.
So we haven't tried voting.
We'll see this election run, because first of all, I talked on a podcast last night. If they take Trump off the ballot, I don't think there's going to be an election.
If they take Trump off the ballot, I do think that's the tipping point where this country gets really bad.
It gets ugly super fast.
I'm talking like, what do they call martial law?
Yeah.
I'm thinking it would get really ugly because, I mean, at that point, a lot of people are hurting. And now, see, when Trump lost before, people were prosperous. People were making money. You know, now people are broke. People are hurting. So who's more likely to riot? Someone who has food on the table or someone who doesn't?
Right.
You want to see a far right uprising? Yeah, do some shit with Trump. See what happens.
I think even people on the left are pretty sick of like, okay, not only do I not get to pick, like it has to be looked at this way. The left is not allowing the left to pick who they're voting for. Biden was chosen instead of nominated, and so was Clinton.
Hillary.
Chosen, not nominated. Right? That's factual. They screwed Bernie Sanders over factually. We should have. The problem is when they did it with Bernie, we should have fixed this shit already. Like it should have been like, whoa, that's not that. All these people are like, oh, our democracy. That's not democratic, bitches. Like, I mean, it's absolutely not, you know.
No,
but we've let it go. We've let so much slide that it's going to get. I think it's going to get crazy. It already is, and it's just gonna. It's the thing is, but the public sentiment, the culture has changed. Did you? I think it's like 4-1 that high school seniors right now are conservative over liberal. Like that's insane. Crazy.
That just shows you that. So what happens when you're young? You rebel. So the Democratic Party or liberals or leftists, that used to be the whole like Rage Against the Machine. Fuck you. I won't do what you tell me. And now Rage Against the Machine became a please tell me what to do. Govern me harder, daddy. Take the vaccine, which is fine because I believe everyone should take the vaccine because it's safe and effective as per the WHO and the CDC. So I actually I agree very, very much with Rage Against the Machine. But no, I mean, kids are naturally going to reject. And what's going to happen is females are still Democrat at that age, but they're going to adapt what their boyfriend believes in. It just is what it is. So I think it's just going to be an interesting time period where Republicans are out birthing Democrats. I believe it's a number of, I think it's 4 to 2.5. So, I mean, there's going to be within the next 15, 20 years, there's going to be way more conservatives than Democrats. And they say, well, the teachers indoctrinate them. I'm like, I'm in a conservative area. The teachers are not indoctrinating anybody here.
No. I did share a funny video on Twitter, which if you're not following Marc and I on Twitter, what are you doing here? But I did share a funny video on Twitter where this guy walks up to these college students. I forget which college it's at, right? And he asks them, what is 15 times 4? And all 4 of these college students didn't even come close. Like they laughed at the beginning.
I saw that.
They laughed at the beginning. They knew they wouldn't get it. Somebody said 23, then somebody said 24, then somebody said 48. And like me and my son were sitting back like, how did they even get to the, like, how did 23 come about? It's 15 times 4. How did 23 even get involved? And another thing somebody pointed out, that's clock math. Like these people haven't even these people have not even been taught how to read a clock. Like everything's digital, you know? So I think it's like, I also believe that that's why the high schoolers are different now too. Like they're more conservative because the people that are in college ahead of them were totally crazy.
Oh yeah,
like totally crazy. You know,
I really think we're in a good place culturally. I think, as Tim Pool always says, we're winning the culture war. And what is the culture war? I don't know. Morality. And it's funny because you have people say weird Christian stuff. Like, there's no bigger fans of morality and being a good person in society than we are, you know. I don't need a God to tell me that. You know, it's good. There's good and there's right and there's wrong. There's good and there's bad. Well, that's subject. No, it's not. Like, killing people for no reason, that's bad. I think we could all agree on that. You know, I think drag queens dancing at elementary schools, showing their crotch to kids, bad. Unfortunately, somehow we got that twisted as well. I think committing crimes and stealing things from others, bad. I mean, this isn't that hard, right?
No.
So again, we're coming back. I do believe we're in a very promising position as a country, and I'm kind of excited for 2024. I'm kind of nervous because if it goes the other way, if it goes the other way, I mean, it's going to be pretty bad.
Yeah,
it's going to be really bad because you thought it was bad in this 4 years. Oh my goodness. Imagine if they don't have to worry about getting reelected.
I mean, first of all, I think he'll never publicly appear. Like, say Biden will get elected again. Say he can make it to 2024. I still think that they might try to replace him with Newsom. But if he does get elected, he'll never do public appearances. We will never hear that man speak. For all we know, he could have passed away for months. I bet you they never show him. I bet you they just said, oh, the president said this, and the president said that, and the president said this, and he signed this. And they could use CGI, body doubles, all sorts of shit. And that's what they'll do, because me and you talked before the last election. He's cognitively impaired. Like, I mean, he's been cognitively impaired, and it's just getting worse.
He's 100% gone. Yeah.
He's gone, you know? And I really think that I really think that if they manage to get him elected again, that we just won't even hear from him. If they do get him, either that or whoever they have be his running mate, because better believe they're getting rid of Kamala.
You think so?
Yes, I do. I think that they're going to have her go do something else for the government. I believe that she is, like, it takes a lot of effort to be that big of a fucking joke when Joe Biden is the president. Like, to be as big of a joke as Kamala Harris is, like, just by normality, like, you look like you're pretty sane. This is like, you know, for those of you that know YouTube fitness, like, imagine Jason Genova is your president in the United States. How fucked up do you need to be to even get attention if you're the vice president? You know what I mean? Like, that's Kamala Harris.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. All right. Well, we got to do this again. Hopefully, maybe even tomorrow. I'll let you know what's going on with me. I don't have any legal calls, thankfully. So,
sweet.
Yeah, that was good. Well, I appreciate everybody here. Sorry I went off it, dude. But it gets really old when people tell you, like, again, like, we kind of went over it. Like, we love everyone. Like, just don't. And if you believe that, just don't say it. Like, that's an unchristian thing to do.
Yeah, very unchristian thing to do. All right, guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I'll probably be live a little bit later on the day on just my main channel. And I hope to see all you guys there. Mark. Hey, everybody was thanking me for the deals that you ran from both Ambrosia and from Tiger Fitness.
They were pretty awesome.
Amazing deals.
We sold out on Tiger Fitness, so we were able to salvage that with Ambrosia having everything in stock. So
it's awesome. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
Have a good week. See ya.
Bye.